Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, K9 Gamer here once again with a new Let's Play, and this time let's play Mercenaries, Playgrounds of Destruction, a game developed by Pandemic and published by LucasArts in 2005 for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, and I'm playing the original Xbox version, and this is an open world third-person shooter game with a little bit of old school twist. And this is a very interesting game. What's the story about? Well, let's start playing because the game's intro will explain it better than I ever could. But before we do that, let's first check the options. Yeah, okay, the subtitles. And I'm gonna check the audio. Okay, sound effects were a little down. Hopefully that helped a little bit. And okay, now we're all set, and let's start playing a new game. And there is no actual difficulty setting, so the game has only one difficulty, and you get to choose your operator. And there are three operators, each that has their own unique strengths. And here's our first one, Chris Jacobs. And Jacob can take the most damage, as you can see from his bio. There's Jennifer Mui. And she is, she's a stealthy character, meaning that she's not as easily detected as the other operatives. And finally, Matthias Nilsson, and he is the fastest operator, which means he runs and moves the fastest in the game. Other than that, the characters do not change that much, meaning that the story is always the same no matter who you pick up as your operator, and they all get the same missions, but there are few slight differences. As you could see from their bio, that they all know a different language, and that's gonna play a small part in the game. But anyway, I'm gonna choose my character, and before I started recording, I once again picked in a game where you get to choose multiple characters, or if you can play good or bad, I always choose by a randomizer, and I once again did it a randomizer before starting the recording, and the lucky one was Mui, which is actually pretty good because there is something that I want to try to complete in this game once we get to playing, and I will explain once the intro is over. So anyway, with that all out of the way, let's start playing. Yes.
Reports from Pyongyang indicate North Korean military forces have staged a violent coup.
The Royal Australian Navy intercepted a North Korean freighter.
Authorities alerted the Queen after uncovering a cache of nuclear warheads in the ship's cargo bay. The warheads were intended for sale to known terrorist elements.
Troops poured across the DMZ and into North Korea, intent on dislodging the newly installed regime of General Song. The president today reaffirmed the need for this peacekeeping mission.
The general posted bounties today for the latest deck of 52.
Could we have the lights off, please? Lights off, please. Thank you. All right, Fiona, what have you got for us?
Thanks. Okay, well, today the board is voting on the Sung Initiative. This is an unparalleled financial opportunity for XOps, but it's high risk. North Korea is a quagmire, the Allies are stuck in it, and it's all because of this man here.
Yes, we've been discussing this. Couldn't this force us into a moral position? I mean, the guy's evil. He capped his own father after the coup. The media are all over it. Anyone operating in this theater is going to be famous.
Maybe, but we're proposing sending in a single operative, low profile. And remember, North Korea is in total chaos. There's press on the ground, sure, but our agent could level half the country and no one would have any idea we were there. There's more. Apart from the 100 million for Sung, there's a significant bounty for every member of the deck of 52, especially if they're taken alive.
Does that say businessmen?
Well, counterfeiting, slave trading, if you call that business, these guys are businessmen. To sum up, we insert a single agent to go after the bounties. We can do something the Allies can't, work directly with factions on the ground to gather hard intel on the deck of 52.
Oh, come on, Fiona. The AN have never been shy about
dealing with the Russian mafia? Not with GSRN reporters everywhere. Listen, by working with the factions, we can take Sung's power base apart from the bottom up. Sung's gone into hiding, but if anyone knows where he is...
It's his lieutenants. Got it. Fiona, you make a compelling case. I think I know which way the board will go, but I have one more question. We're basically relying on a single agent here. Do you have someone in mind?
Yes, I do. I believe I have the perfect candidate.
Do you read me? Jennifer.
5 by 5, Fiona. ETA?
You're about 10 minutes from the DMZ drop zone.
Glad to hear your voice on the line. Wouldn't have made it through Iraq without you.
Bet you say that to all your support operatives.
Only the ones who saved my ass.
Just doing my job. We're close. You might want to get your gear together for the drop. Have you checked out your new PDA yet?
Of course. Transflective screen, high-res image, fast uplink.
Don't worry, there's not going to be a test.
Not true. I'll be testing it plenty in the field.
I know it's not state-of-the-art.
M4A1 carbine. Barrel tends to overheat. Other than that, a fine weapon. M67.
Standard issue frag grenades.
Produces casualties within 15 meters. Lethal under 5. Definitely up to my standards.
This is Blackbird. DMZ's in visual range. The drop zone is hot. We'll be coming in low and fast.
You heard the man. Time to get going. Jennifer, you ready?
I'm good, Fiona. 5 by 5.
You know they say the DMZ is the most dangerous place on Earth.
I know.
But still, $100 million. You think you could spend that much money in one lifetime?
You know me. I've got expensive tastes.
And here we go.
Your primary objective is to get to the Allied HQ. Colonel Garrett is waiting for you. Head north to the Allied HQ. Garrett is expecting you.
And I did a test run of the game and got a little used to the controls. So I do know a little bit, but there is still help and some information about the game. And first things first, let's read the emails. Yes, and as I was saying that this is an open world, but there are some restrictions, and these restrictions are called red zones, which means if you enter a red zone, you will automatically get bombed to death. And the red zones are marked in your radar.
Right, they've blocked the road. The area is a lot hotter than we expected. Hang on while I patch it to the Allied uplink.
I am under heavy
Damn, the North Koreans stage an assault on the Allied HQ. I'm hearing reports of intense shelling in the area. Looks like a
just want you to explain to me why we're still getting the crap chilled out of us. And I don't want to hear the words authorization, approval, clearance, or it. Now who the hell is this?
Sir, this is a private contractor. XOps contacted me and I agreed.
A merc? You don't think I got enough problems? Get out of here. I don't
You
need...
catch the two of clubs yet?
The two of... No. How did you know that Jinho Young was commanding our artillery?
XOps does a good job briefing their agents, sir. You said you didn't want to hear authorization or approval. Well...
All right, we'll give it a shot. You stop that artillery, verify the two of clubs, and maybe we can do business together. Major Howard here will give you some intel. Oh, and one last thing. Don't you ever interrupt me again. Howard, when you get this merc out of here, one of those GSR reporters shows up.
And we did our first contract. And yes, our job is to capture the deck of 52, which means a 52 high-profile, well, targets of the North Korean army, and they are marked here. You can also check up them in this PDA. And all of them have their own, well, not factions, what should I call, classes. First of all, we are going after the clubs. The clubs are basically the North Koreans' financiers, mainly people who finance this war. The diamonds? Oh. The diamonds are Korea's, can't remember the leader's name at the moment. Well, actually, I could just check it from here because he is the final one. The Ace of Spades. Yeah. Chong, or Song. Let's just call it Song. So basically, the clubs are Song's finance operatives who finance this war. The diamonds are his regular military forces. The hearts are his nuclear and scientific and nuclear and maybe even biological weapons, and the spades are his personal inner circle and special forces. And you can actually read intel about all of them. And the idea of the game is to either kill all of them or capture them. But if you kill them, you only get half the bounty. So the game recommends or tries to encourage you to capture them alive, because you're gonna need a lot of money in this game, because we can use all sorts of resources and those cost money. And you can also read information, and I'm going to try to capture all of them in this game, but if we accidentally manage to kill some of these high value targets, well, it is what it is. But we're gonna try capture everyone playthrough, and you can read a little bit info, and that's also neat detail about this game, because everyone has a little side story of them. And our first target is the two of clubs, as was mentioned, and he is Jinho Wong. And let's read about him quickly. And the Song's finance division is, or section is called Division 39. So he's an artillery officer. And with each member you capture, you gain more intel. You see that little eye mark over there, and you need to get to that certain amount of intel until you can go after the main leader of the faction. Oh, the ace. You don't have to capture all of them, but it is of course recommended for the money. You just have to acquire that amount of intel, and those are the aces are story-driven missions. Other are optional. But anyway, let's continue now.
I almost felt that from here. The AN have sent me the contract. It'll lay out all the details of what you need to do. Check your PDA for the email.
Verify the two of clubs, destroy North Korean artillery. That's our mission. And bounty value 25 and only 12,500 dead. and you get the overall even extra money from the contract in itself. And sometimes we can even get a little bit of backup. The game it does give you some freedom on how you approach missions, and with that, Mui is kind of useful because she is harder to detect than the other, as I mentioned, which allows you to maybe sneak or get close to the targets and capture them. And now we are disguised as allies. When you use certain vehicles, you can actually try to sneak areas. So meaning if I capture North Korean vehicles, I can disguise myself as a North Korean. Of course, my cover will be blown if I honk the horn or do something suspicious. Let's take one more backup. And the game is difficult in that point, in that regard, in an old school regard, that there are no checkpoints in the game, meaning if you fail a mission, you'll have to do it all over again. So there is no mid-mission checkpoints, and you can only save the game once you complete the contract. So yeah, I'm gonna try always complete the contract in a one video or do something else that allows me. Okay. And there is no over-the-shoulder shooting, which means it is a very old school shooting, but you can zoom a little bit by pressing the thumbstick and get into this aim position, but I'm gonna try and avoid to use that. Actually, oh yeah, B jumps, X uses melee, Y doesn't do anything, and A reloads, and oh yeah, and the left trigger, I have to get used to it, use the grenade, and I'm using a stun grenade. Yep, I'm gonna try and, come on. So yeah, you have to stun a high value target. You can also stun normal enemies and take them down like that, but it doesn't. Oh yeah, wrong button. Still, I keep pressing. The one thing I need to get once again used to is that I have to press Y. I keep pressing the B button as a back button up. And yeah, and using the D-pad allows you to access your special items like explosives and extraction. And this time, let's go for extraction. Yes, we have to always carry the captives in the AN helicopter for extraction, and only then we get paid. But once they're on board, it even doesn't matter if the chopper gets shut down because we've already paid. I actually remember back in the day, because that happened to me once, that I managed to capture the target, but it was still destroyed by AA fire once they escaped. But yeah, the game like slows us down like that, and then it counts as a capture. And that's one thing I really like the game, because it has those kinds of unscripted moment-to-moment stories that can happen while in an intense firefight. And of course, the higher the targets, the more difficult the game gets, as you're gonna about to find out later in the game, because the end game is definitely gonna be a challenging one, as you will eventually see. The first targets are relatively easy, like this one. But yeah, we managed to capture the first one, the 2 of clubs. But the mission is not yet over. We had to destroy the North Korean artillery, and now we get the real fun of the game, which is the supports, which allow you to destroy almost anything you see in the game. Buildings, building structures, vehicles, and all sort of that. And this is the fun part of the game, because you get different kinds of supports like airstrikes, artillery, and some variations. And now we got something called surgical strike, and we don't have to pay for it. But that's why the money comes in, because in later we also can use airstrikes, but they cost money because they are given to us, are not given to us by any factions, but we use them ourselves, or as the game story will later explain, and you're about to find out. So now let's use surgical strike. Actually, wait, let's quickly check the help. Later. Okay, now let's use.
Roger, target received. Bombs free.
Now we have to wait until.
Now let's get the other one.
Rearming.
Roger, target received. Bombs free.
Great work. Garrett will be pleased.
We still got one more, I think. And just for the funsies, I'm gonna show, as you can destroy. There are still some targets there. Nope, nothing of value, but hey, we got one freebie, so might as well have a little fun.
Roger, target received. Bombs free.
And that's why the game is called Playground of Destruction. Okay, now we need to head back, and I have to check that could you save the game once the contract is complete? There's an RPG. And this is what I say, that the game also has a little bit of mix of old and new, that you can only carry 2 weapons at once. One heavy weapon, usually I prefer RPG or some kind of anti-tank weapon, and one main assault weapon. But I'm gonna pick the assault, no, not the assault rifle. Where was that? There's the light machine gun. I like the light machine gun because it has a lot of ammo and it's relatively accurate. All weapons have a little bit of different feeling on them.
What are you doing?
I commandeered the vehicle. You can get on board. I'm gonna head back, and then I'm gonna. Technically the mission's not still completed, so I also want to check. Could you? Yeah, you can only. But I was wondering. That I didn't test. Is there any way? Yeah, that honks the horn. That you. No, I can't look behind. There is no. At least I don't think. Let's. Yeah, the trigger also allows you to exit the car. Okay, and that does nothing, the right trigger. Okay. Alright, it's done. And now that's the health of the car, so meaning that we ourselves do not take any damage until the vehicle itself is destroyed. So yeah, using vehicles. Oh. Now pay attention, pay attention.
Wow, what a mess. They really needed your help. Go talk to the guard again.
Yeah, so the right, left trigger, and yeah, and Y exits the vehicle.
It's the mercenary.
Okay, and now the contract is completed. And now I think I can save the game. Yeah.
Not bad. Maybe I was wrong about it. And I sure as hell don't mind the opportunity to get something done around here without wading through a sea of red tape. May rely on you in the future. How's that sound?
As long as the pay's good, I'm perfectly willing to jump in.
Okay. I'm Colonel Samuel Garrett, commander of Allied forces in the area. This is Major Stephen Howard. I know you're here for the deck of 52. Now, most of them are open bounties, but the aces, you need special clearance from us to go after them. You bring me enough intel, I'll get you that clearance. Speaking of which, you'll want to talk to the man leading... advising South Korean forces in the area. Company man called Buford. Knows more about what's going on around here than... Hell, he knows more than he's telling, that's all I'm saying. Probably already knows where Song is, bastard. Get out of here. I got work to do. Come on.
So yeah, we're gonna work with different factions as a mercenary, and there are now... Yeah, we get these little infos also at the loading screen. So yeah, General Song is the main baddie of the game. Choose a save game from the pause menu to save your... Yes, okay. So that was... let's see what... Lay of the land. So yeah, there are 4 factions in the game, and I'm gonna show them, and... Yeah, and they get this little... Once you capture a little bar, or an X if you kill them, to keep track how you've been progressing. So yeah, the factions. So there are 4 factions, the Allies, the AN, and they are friendly for now. The South Korea, the China, and Russian Mafia, and they are currently neutral, but all of them can become hostile, and in some situations they can become hostile because we're gonna do missions for all of them, and sometimes the missions clash between different factions, and that's also where you have to play carefully, because you can sometimes try to sneak past and complete the mission without the other faction knowing that you were working against them. Yeah, if I explain that well, any clearer or any... once again, can't speak. My mind is once again racing. But anyway, you're about to find out in the game. But now, I'm gonna save the game and I'm gonna cut the video here. So I'm gonna try and always complete maybe 1 or 2 missions, depending how hard or long they take me to complete in every video. But for now, I'm Kanan Gamer, and this has been Let's Play Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. If you enjoyed these types of Let's Plays, give a thumbs up, feedback, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all that jazz. And join me again in the next video as we go meet the next faction, the South Korea. But that'll be the next video. Until then, as always, I'll see you when I see you. Later.